Hello, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me in another of my wonderful interviews. Now, you may remember, it's been, I don't know, something like 6 months ago, I had the one and only Michael Tellinger on the show talking about the amazing project of One Small Towns. Well, things have been going along. Great guns by the sounds of things. And we have an event coming in the UK. And I'm going to talk to Michael exactly about the event, but I also want to catch up on what's been going on, and we'll just do a quick resume of what One Small Towns is all about. Michael, welcome back to the show. Lovely to have you here again.
Great to see you, Richard. Lovely to be talking to you again.
So there's a lot of excitement at the moment because there is a One Small Town meeting coming on in the UK on the 26th of November, which is Sunday coming as I record this, and this goes out today. So it's very exciting, and we want people to come along if they can. So can you tell us a little bit about that first, and then we'll get into what's been happening since we last spoke?
Yes, thanks very much, Richard. And I believe you have the pamphlet there that promotes the event. So this is our first English One Small Town gathering, official gathering regarding the town of Stroud. That is really showing great interest in becoming the first town in England to become a One Small Town initiative. And so we're having an event there this coming Sunday, the 26th of November, which is very exciting, obviously, because as I mentioned, it's the first time that we're officially meeting about introducing One Small Town into England. And this has obviously been coming for several years now since we've launched the One Small Town initiative, during that horrible lockdown period in 2021. And it's just grown exponentially, and we've learned so much, and we've done so much even since I've last spoken to you in the last 6 months. But anyone in England that's close to Stroud or can get there this Sunday, the 26th of November, please get the details from this little pamphlet here. I believe it's in a place called Tetbury. Get the details there. Also go to our social media pages like Facebook and Telegram, and our website, onesmalltown.org, the news page there. And also you can also email our English ambassador, Michael Chamberlain, who is going to be there with a group of people from Stroud that have been looking at the One Small Town initiative and are already organizing themselves to do the necessary pre-launch activities before we actually have officially launched the One Small Town initiative. So it's very, very exciting because obviously England and the UK is a critical catalyst in the One Small Town global growth. And we all believe, all the sort of One Small Town management team that has been growing also beautifully over the years, we all believe that once One Small Town launches in the UK, especially in England, and then also in the USA, where we're also making incredible progress. But once we launch in the UK, this is going to be the catalyst that's going to really push it over the edge. And at the same time, I might add, Richard, is that we have so much has happened that the English One Small Town is really coming. It's coming as part of the wave that's about to burst. And right. And I guess I'll share with you all the things that have happened in the last 6 months.
Yeah, well, that's very exciting. We should say the venue for it is 9 miles south of Stroud in Gloucestershire, just for those that are trying to pinpoint it and get a vague idea on this Sunday. And I shall be there myself, and no doubt I'll be doing some interviews, but also I'm there to meet anybody and what have you. So I need to find out as much about the whole initiative as well. So it's very exciting to have it in this country. And I know the West Country is very much full of exciting initiatives. There's a sort of big awareness of what's going on. So it's great to have it in that part of the world. So could you just tell, for those people who are watching the video who may not have know anything about what One Small Town is, could you just give us a quick resume of that, and then we'll find out what's been going on since we spoke. I'll find the previous video so they can see it in more detail and link to it in the description.
Great. So you want the 1 minute elevator pitch or a 20-minute elevator pitch?
So you get the 1.5 minute elevator pitch. So it's a longer elevator.
All right. So obviously, one small town, first of all, is an idea that has been evolving over many years. It's an idea that came to me in 2005 already, and it's all connected to the origins of money and how money has become a tool of enslavement, and hard cold capitalism has really become the tool that destroys people's lives. And what do we do to get out of this? How do we get ourselves out of this global socio-economic slavery system? So this idea started to grow and evolve from the year 2005. So it's almost 20 years
Wow.
that it has been growing, and it went through various phases and learning and so forth. And basically, the idea is that small towns are the perfect microcosms and the breeding grounds for people to work together to decide and choose to cooperate and collaborate for the benefit of the whole community. Cities are becoming more and more nightmarish, and I believe more and more people are escaping cities and moving into towns, moving into the country, because it's becoming very difficult to live in large cities because for all kinds of reasons. And small towns are the great opportunity for us to create a beautiful future for ourselves. And all it is really is that we decide that we cooperate and collaborate on every level. We get together as a community. We decide what community projects we need to initiate to fix our town, to fix the roads, help the schools, help the orphanages, help the old age homes, help fix the parks, and create new arts and cultural activities and so forth. This is our town, and we want to make this town beautiful for ourselves. At the same time, while we're doing the community upliftment and arts and cultural activities, we're also putting together ideas and business plans for businesses that we as a community can start that belong to us, the community, that don't belong to corporations or rich individuals that exploit us and use us as the cheap labor to work in their businesses. And this way, we turn everything on its head so that we as a community start a number of businesses that belong to us. We're the owners of the businesses, and there's only one thing that we have to do as one small town members, and that is to pledge to contribute 3 hours a week towards these upliftment projects and community owned businesses. And that's the magic thing here. That's the magic common denominator. If you take a town of 10,000 people and everybody contributes 3 hours a week, we have a town that with a labor force of 30,000 hours of free labor, our own labor that we choose to contribute towards our businesses and the upliftment of our town and community. That changes everything. So we've suddenly taken ourselves and our little town and turned ourselves into a powerful labor force that can pretty much do everything. I mean, we can start a car manufacturing factory. We can, make cornflakes. We can make laptops. We can build fridges. We can grow food on a large scale because we have 10,000 people that each contribute 3 hours a week. And that changes everything. If you put it into monetary terms, that'll be equivalent of a company having to pay about 1.5 million, or it's like, is it $2.5 million? It all depends how you calculate it. But anything between $1 and $2.5 million per month of salaries to people. So
Yes.
our little town, by us agreeing to work together to cooperate and collaborate, we can suddenly compete with a company that has a labor bill of $2 or $2.5 million a month. Just think how much we can achieve.
Yes.
And from there, that's when we get the creative minds, the creative thinkers, the business savvy people, the people that understand how to take abandoned, schools, churches, warehouses, farms, all the stuff that's the industrial opportunities that are lying idle. How can we take it and turn it into a profit-making business for our community when we stand together and united and cooperate? So in a nutshell, that's the One Small Town initiative. It is a very simple initiative, but when you start to implement it, things change very quickly.
So, now, as you say, this was from 2005, which is a long time ago. And of course, the whole process has taken a bit of time to sort of get momentum and what have you. And it does seem, as you said to me just before I pressed the record button, it's all about to burst. And I know you're very excited about it. So what sort of thing? I mean, when we spoke, there was a lot going on. but it seems to be racking up. And I think that a lot of people are becoming more aware of the tyranny and the control. And they're very much aware, of course, of the danger of money or the fiat currency being changed into the CBDC. So people are sort of worried, what are we going to do? How is things coming back? So I think people are very much open to new ideas at the moment. And the other thing, what's interesting, you said people moving away from the cities. It's, 150 years ago, at the beginning of the industrial, well, maybe 250 years ago, people were moving from the land back into the big towns and stuff. And now it seems it's time for a role reversal there and get back to some proper basics again. So what's been going on since we last spoke, Michael?
Well, Richard, one of the things that's constantly going on is the building of the platform, the One Small Town IT platform and blockchain, because we realized just more than a year ago that unless you have an incredibly stable and secure IT platform stroke blockchain that manages all of this, it is simply impossible to make this work, because every town in every country needs to be connected to all the other towns in all the other countries in various ways, because that's how we create a global community of like-minded people all working towards the greater benefit of their own towns, the contributing members of One Small Town members in those towns and those communities, and then sharing those fruits of our labor, whether it's food that we produce or industrial things that we create, or laptops or whatever, or nail clippers, God knows what. We can produce and make anything we choose to do in our towns. And by having an entire global network of small towns all connected to the same platform, all sharing the same system, we create an international marketplace, a distribution network, and an offtake for all the products and the food and the everything that we create and grow and build. So to do that, it requires a really powerful platform that can manage all of the aspects of this. From how do you sign up the members? How secure are the members? Well, how do you control and how do you manage the members when they've gone to contribute their 3 hours a week? What do they contribute their 3 hours a week to? How do we know where they go and what to sign up for? And what community upliftment project? Are we going to pick up rubbish in the street? Are we mowing the lawn in the park? Are we going to help the orphans? Are we taking food to the old age home? What are we doing this week? Or what community upliftment projects do we have? What businesses are we starting? What business plans have we written? Can we make bricks? Can we start a lumber factory? Can we build laptops or fridges or whatever? Can we start a bunch of farms to grow corn and wheat and sunflowers and everything else? How is this all managed? And how do our members know where to go for their 3 hours a week?
So can I just interrupt there? Because I know that a few people have asked me after the last one, they said, the word global is, of course, problematic because we've heard of one world governments and global corporations and that sort of thing. And, of course, when you start talking globally again, people were saying, is this just another replacement for another kind of global institution that's there to govern everything or being managed from one place rather than the grassroots? So can I put that question to you?
Yes. Yeah, that's a very important question.
That confuses people.
Yeah, no, it's a very important question. So it is a system that helps the people to create complete autonomy for themselves within their community. Without the system, they can never have that autonomy, transparency, absolute openness. Everybody knows, every member in a town that is implementing the One Small Town initiative, every participating and active member can log on to any business that we've started that belongs to us, the community, and see exactly how well that business is doing, how much profit it's making, how much the costs are, is it going in the right direction, and how much profit is going to be distributed to me as a contributing member at the end of the month from that business and all the other businesses, because we pool all the profits together and distribute them equally to all the members of One Small Town in that particular town. So it is a collective effort where by contributing 3 hours to the bakery, you're also going to benefit from the profits from the brick factory or the oil factory or who knows what, or the clothing factory. You benefit from all the profits from all the businesses because you're contributing as an individual towards the collective efforts of all our businesses. Because we can't all work in the clothing factory or work in the field or work, making bricks or laptops. We all contributing individually, but collectively, it creates the powerhouse of the 30,000 hours or more labor force that we create in a town of 10,000 people per week. That's per week. So the platform is just a tool that allows transparency and absolute control and management for your town to be able to do it. But at the same time, log on and see what is the needs for cornflakes in Australia. Where can I export my lotion, my homeopathic lotion that cures cancer? Where can I export that globally? So by having all the towns worldwide connected to it, every national One Small Town office that represents one small town in that country ultimately becomes a distributor for all the products from all the towns of the world into that country. And by doing that, you're helping the small businesses in the small towns, and you're helping your own towns to then pack and distribute the products from the rest of the world, become the distributors for these products. So it is an incredibly integrated network that needs an incredibly powerful blockchain to manage it. And that's what we're doing. So when I say global, it's not about the control. There's no control here. It's about creating the platform that allows the people of small towns to manage their town, manage their businesses, manage their community projects, know exactly that investors, if investors want to invest money into my town, they know where their money has gone, that it's gone into the right product, the right project, the right factory, the right business, that the money isn't being stolen by some crooked politicians or the crooked mayor, and the people can see exactly how the money is being used. So just to finish while we're on this train of thought, so the platform in essence is where the community upliftment projects are uploaded for each town by their members, where they go and fix their town every day and every week, and all the business plans, which are then connected to the project management plan, which is connected to the accounting system, which is connected to the town's bank account that they've set up. And the project management system and the bank and the accounting package then releases the amount of funds to their bank account for that specific project, so no one runs off with the money and steals it, which is what happens in small towns. And it is an ongoing cancer that is destroying the funding opportunities for small towns. There's always some greedy, bloody, crooked politician or individual or a business person that gets the so-called investment for their town and then runs off with the money, and the people are left, holding an empty basket of nothing.
Yes. And the bank, tell me about the banks then. Are we using the fiat currency banks or a new type of bank, anything like that?
Oh, no. So when we talk about setting up businesses, everything works with fiat currency. Remember, we need money to survive in this world. So one of the slogans that we use in One Small Town is that we use the tools of enslavement as tools of liberation. And this is really important, that people understand that we are using dollars, pounds, euros. We're not trying to change that, because we need that to set up our businesses, set up everything that we're doing, and be able to distribute the profits to the members of our community, those that contribute towards our projects.
Right. Oh, okay. Now you have a system of tokens. So
yes.
Could you explain how that works?
Yes. So as part of the part of the evolution of One Small Town was really a very important moment about 2 years ago, where we suddenly realized that, okay, well, now we got 100 people going to make bricks, 100 people going to package food, 100 people going to fix the roads and all that. And we have a system, and how are we going to know who's gone where, and how do we know whether they've been there and did their 3 hours? So we thought, okay, there's the punch card system. How do we know? So we obviously chose to go the high tech route, use the most recent and the most advanced technology, and we chose to use QR codes and smartphones, obviously, and QR code systems, and And so every time somebody, a member arrives, they'll have a membership card with a QR code on it. And the supervisor at that business or at that project has a QR code scanner on their phone, which is connected to that specific project. So the member comes and scans their membership card, the QR code, and it logs them in that they've arrived to do their 3 hours. And after 3 hours, they check out, they scan their card, and at that moment, it deposits an one infinity token into your digital wallet as the One Small Town member. So when you become a One Small Town member, one of the benefits you get immediately is a digital wallet in your account. It's like having your own membership account in One Small Town, in your town. And part of that is a digital wallet. And that digital wallet holds what we call infinity tokens. That's the name we've given our reward system for people that have contributed towards uplifting their town and their community. So we call it the infinity token, which is an asset-backed community token, because you can only get it if you've contributed 3 hours towards the well-being of your community. There is nothing like it in the world that we know of. And this makes the infinity token incredibly powerful, because it is backed by something that no one can take away from us and our community. It's not oil-backed or gold-backed or silver-backed or diamond-backed, or it's backed by our own choice and our own decision to work in our own businesses and uplift our own community. And for that, we reward ourselves with the infinity token. It's a beautiful, smooth, whole new way of thinking about how we can reward ourselves.
Yes. You mentioned in the examples that you've given of all the different things that people can get involved with in the 3 hours that they do. We're in a situation now where AI and automation is taking over and taking people's jobs. That's obviously a worry for a lot of people. And how will you combat that, or how do you embrace it if a lot of the sort of manual stuff is now likely, as so many things are, and I hear Amazon are going to employ huge numbers of robots in order to sort of pack deliveries and things, taking away jobs. How do you combat that?
Richard, you're asking all the right questions. I love it. This is beautiful. No, this is fantastic, because when to preempt that question, I'm going to say this, and I hope this sinks in with your viewers. Because I've been saying this for many years, and as we unfold and as we evolve and as we grow and expand, it's becoming more and more relevant and obvious that that's what One Small Town is. One Small Town presents us with a solution for every problem we face as the human race. And let me say that again. One Small Town presents us with a solution for every possible and imaginable problem we face as the human race. I know some people are going to say, "Oh my God, you're an arrogant prick. How can you say something like that?" Because I've been around for so long that I see how every possible problem we have come across in the One Small Town community, growing this around the world, coming across problems, how every time we face a problem, the moment you put it into the One Small Town basket from the One Small Town perspective, you see the solutions come. It's so beautiful and so easy. So it provides a solution for the automation problem as well. In fact, in One Small Town, we don't want automation. We want as many hands as we can. We are a labor-intensive community. We can do anything we want because we have our own time and our own labor. So we can package the food. We can build the laptops. Yes, there'll still be certain parts of automation, but the automation will only be implemented if it helps the community, not if it undermines the community. And there's a big difference. So if it helps the people to achieve certain things better, quicker, without us having to do certain laborious, nonsensical, labor, then we will implement the technology and the robotic technology. But if we do it ourselves, whether it's picking fruit or making wine, it is so important that human energy and our hands and the human interaction with the food that we pick, that we grow, that we harvest, that human connection has been lost. And we can have a very interesting discussion about how that affects the energy of the food that we eat and consume. And it does dramatically for people that have studied and done research into that. So One Small Town, any problem that you think we have in our community, in the world, the moment you start looking for solutions, put it into the one small town model, imagine that we as a community cooperate and collaborate, and we're doing this for the greater good of all of the members in our community. The outcome must always be, if it's not good for everyone, it's no good at all. And that's what the One Small Town initiative ultimately delivers. And sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say you're talking about using more labour or people getting involved again. One of the things from reading old farming community books and things that I are interested in is the human interaction while you're working.
Yes.
So that you're not just, pulling a lever, moving on as a human conveyor belt, because that's not enjoyable. Even for 3 hours, it's not enjoyable. And so it would seem to me that what you're suggesting is the work is pleasurable, so that it is almost not work. I mean, obviously you are going to work and you're putting in the time, but if you're enjoying it and you can have a laugh and it's fun, then what's not to like about it? And as you say, it gets you out the chair, you're moving about, you're using your hands, you're being creative, which is all those things that make you proud to do stuff.
It's exactly what it is. It's bringing the community back together and getting the community spirit back into our communities, which has been destroyed and devastated by big tech, by large corporations, literally turning us into robots and into human robots. So we're turning that upside down. We're taking control of our towns. We are starting our own businesses. We are starting our own stores. Our One Small Town store ultimately will store all the things that we grow and build and create. So you can imagine what's going to happen once that store starts to get filled with all these amazing products and things that we do. It changes everything. The moment the One Small Town takes off, it starts to change and affect everything. Our education, how we teach our children, what subject we teach them, the skills training for our adults and young adults and teenagers, the skills training, how our factories and our businesses all have a skills training component where any of our members can go and learn new skills, whether it's carpentry or making wine or anything, engineering. You go and apply to become an apprentice in that specific factory or in that business. And each of our businesses will have these skills training components. And every time you go and learn something for 3 hours, you get rewarded with an infinity token because you've taken the effort to improve yourself, and improved members of our community will serve our community better. So we want informed and well-trained members of our community. So we must reward them, not charge them for learning skills, reward them for learning skills.
Yes. So now let me just look at this a different way, because it's not about starting on a fresh piece of land and building a town, a small town that is everybody's in on board with the One Small Town. People are already in towns. They've got their property and what have you. So from our conversation that we had before, is effectively saying, look, there's an opportunity to. I think we did the illustration of a baker before, and you're just then baking. Yes, you're in competition with another, say, a big baker corporation down the road, but they're paying the wages, whereas people are coming in, giving their 3 hours, and they're getting lots and lots of benefits as a result of that. When it comes to our meeting in Stroud, or just south of Stroud, what's the aim of that meeting, and how quickly can Stroud in itself become a one small town that other people can then go, do you know what, we want this in our town?
Yeah, that's, again, you're asking all the right questions. And this is one of the important things we've learned over the last 12 months, especially. Even the last 6 months, we've learned so much about what not to do.
Right.
So I just want to remind everybody watching this, there is no script. There is no playbook that we're following. We're learning as we go. This has never been done before. And it's really important to know that if we don't do this, the alternatives are too horrific to contemplate. If we don't succeed with One Small Town, quite frankly, I don't want to live in this world that carries on the path that we're on right now. I frankly don't want to be part of that kind of future. And that's why I'm so passionate and so dogmatic about making One Small Town a success. I've been doing this for nearly 2 decades, and it is now about to burst. So what we've learned is how to take this idea and take it to a community. And over the years, we've had a huge amount of following from people. And most of the following we've had over the years was from very spiritual minded and almost hippie kind of minded people. And all the people that, oh, yeah, let's buy a farm and all live together and grow food together. That kind of mentality. And in a way, it is a little bit of that, but it's so much more. So we're not taking a piece of land and starting from scratch. That's crazy. Why would you want to do that? You already have towns that are filled with houses and infrastructure and electricity and roads and parks and schools, and everything is there. All you got to do is change the way that people think about cooperating and collaborating. And that's what we're doing, just changing the people's perspective, how powerful they can be if they cooperate and collaborate. You don't have to start on a fresh piece of farm or land somewhere. And so what we've learned is that how to take this into the towns and communities and launch it so that the correct message reaches the members of that community or that town, and how to have the right people take that message to them. So when you talk about the philosophy, it's a beautiful philosophy, and pretty much everyone in the world probably agrees with this philosophy. Yes, we can take care of ourselves, we can provide for ourselves, we can grow our food, we can heal ourselves, we can teach our children, we can do all these things. But when it comes to implementation, how do we do this? Everything changes. Because now suddenly you start dealing with laws and bylaws and governments and municipalities and farms and boundaries and borders and
the list is endless, isn't it?
It's crazy. So how do we overcome that? So that's what we've had to learn the hard way. Literally, as I said earlier, we're using the tools of enslavement as tools of liberation. And as we go, I was talking to a farmer 2-3 days ago in a small town in South Africa. It's a big church group, big farming community, and they just love one small town. They think this was sent by God to help the towns and their small communities in about 10 little small towns in South Africa, that they have a huge footprint, all very strong church-going community. So, and when I shared this with him, he went, "Oh my God, this is so, it's divinely guided. It's an idea whose time has come, but I can see that you're building the aeroplane while you're flying it." And that's exactly what we're doing.
Right.
There's no script. We're literally going. We know where we're going. We know what we want to achieve. We know where we want to be. I can see it. I've seen it for 2 decades. But how to get there is an interesting obstacle course of getting past all the different obstacles and hurdles that the governments and the municipalities and the bureaucracy has put in our way. And guess what? We're succeeding. Despite of all these bureaucratic hurdles, we are still succeeding. And it's, as I mentioned earlier, and so did you, it's about to burst, because there are a few small towns now, one in Lebanon, one in South Africa, and a few more very soon, Stroud in England, and a few around the world, USA, Sweden. Sweden is about to launch with some spectacular one small town activity, but it's all under the radar. What we've been doing is building the platform so it's solid, robust, it cannot break, it is sound and secure. It provides all the functionality that would normally cost a business thousands and thousands of pounds, if not dozens of thousands of pounds per month. Just in the business planning, the project management, the accounting packages, all the stuff. And then the support from all the other experts and knowledgeable people that give their support for free. That's the community that we're building around the world. So what we've now realized is that before we launch a one small town initiative, we must first put together a group of people. And these are not the spiritual, beautiful, well-enlightened people that talk the theory, but they're pretty useless when it comes to implementation. Because they're not the project management kind of people. They're not the business planners. They're not the hardcore engineers and the farmers. They're the dreamers and the spiritual energy that drives this thing. Now, the implementation phase, this is where we get to the business planners, the people with business savvy, how to start a business, the farmers, how to run agriculture, how to make it profitable, the project managers, the implementers, the events coordinators, and so forth, and put a team together that then sits and looks at the town, say, right, this is our town. What are the opportunities that we can take? What are the low-hanging fruits in business? What are the short, medium, and long-term businesses that we can launch here? what businesses can we start that we have, the ingredients and components that can be that we can have for free available to us, for example, from nature around us. So this is the kind of out of the box thinking strategists that come together and they plan a 12-month plan for their town and their community. With the community upliftment projects, how do we fix the broken roads? How do we help the orphanages? How do we help the old age homes and so forth? And then the business plans. What are the short-term, medium, long-term businesses that we know we can start? And then put that business plan together for 12 months. And at that point, that's when we launch it to the community. So the community understands this very simple plan. This is what we're doing. That's why I want to be. I want to be part of this because we're building a brewery. We're gonna make laptops. We're gonna build bicycles to export to China. We're gonna do all these amazing businesses, but we're gonna start with this one first. So start with a low-hanging fruit, and the objective, by the way, is to find one cornerstone business that turns over enough money and makes enough profit to keep that one small town office running. Because once the one small town office is self-funded, and you have a strong management team of experienced people that know how to start and manage businesses, and you have a cornerstone business that makes enough profit to keep that in place, you have a very strong foundation to launch all the other businesses into the future. So that is currently where we are with the implementation plan. So in essence, that's what we'll most likely be discussing at the meeting in Stroud, how to launch one small town. Who are the people that want to be involved in that implementation team? I used to call it the One Small Town Council or the Council of Elders, and that suddenly came under attack. Council is a nasty word. Let's not use that word. So we're dealing with that kind of thing as well. The terminology. What do we call stuff? Because we don't want to fall into the old kind of paradigm thinking. So at the moment we're calling it the implementation team that of well experienced, driven people that'll take it to their community.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds very, very exciting. It sounds that you've gone past the pushing the boulder up one side of the mountain, and you're at almost there at the precipice, ready to push it off. And once you've got that team and everything else, it will have that slow beginning, and then it will start picking up speed. And as other people start to see how it works and understand the simplicity, in inverted commas, that it's a very simple idea that we look after ourselves and we've taken back control and we're no longer in the tyranny, that other people will go, hey, well, we want this here, because why wouldn't you?
And that's why we have to focus so much energy on the platform, because once this thing breaks, we can't hold it back, and we don't want to hold it back. We want to make sure the platform is robust, it's easy to use. It's very obvious what to do, how to do it. So we're really putting a lot of effort and energy into making sure the coding and the programming all works. Everything functions properly. That's very easy from members around the world wanting to become members. Go online, sign up as a member, and then what do I do next, and so forth. So this is all part of as we said, building the airplane while we're flying it.
Yes. So flap your arms, ladies and gentlemen. This sounds really great. So we really would like to see lots of people who have got ideas and are innovative or just curious to come along to the Stroud meeting on the 26th, which is this Sunday. And all the document will be on the website at onesmalltown.org. We'll put all the information available. And it will be fantastic to see how that goes. I will be there to find out more and do another interview to see how people have come together. It's going to be very exciting. And to get other ideas, because, you seem to be a man who's very open to ideas, suggestions that come in. Probably you've had those ideas given to you a million times, but you never know. There's always that germ of something which adds to the mix, as you say, building the aeroplane. What about a propeller? Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the bleeding obvious is not something that comes to mind, isn't it? And it's amazing where these ideas come from, especially at the grassroots level, from people who are doing stuff.
Richard, one of the things we mentioned, I know it's probably time to wrap this up, but just maybe on a high note, on a good point to wrap this conversation up, if that's what you'd like to do, is just to tell you some of the exciting products and businesses that were started now by One Small Towns, and that we're in the process of launching. And that's why I said it's about to burst. And it literally, like, it could be in the next week, could be next month. It's about to burst. And the reason it hasn't burst yet, because we still in some of the products we're about to launch, we just suddenly realized we had to register trademarks before we import them into the UK from our One Small Town Lebanon. We had to register trademarks, and so suddenly that delayed us for a little while. So we learned something new about that, and things like that. Who are the importers? Who are the who are the distributors? Luckily, we already have distributors in the UK. So for the first product. So One Small Town Lebanon is by far the most advanced of all our towns, the Ras El Mutton town, because we had such a powerful ambassador there who got the vision. He lives in London, Fayez Mukarim. So he's a UK resident and a citizen. He lives in London, but he went back to Lebanon, his hometown, his home country, to launch One Small Town Ras El Mutton. And because of his passion and his drive, it really took off so incredibly well. And boy, is there a country that needs One Small Town, and it makes my heart jump with joy that it's Lebanon that's really leading the way. It's really tear-jerking stuff, this, So we're about to start exporting the first primary water from 450 meters deep, very energetic, very healthy, energized, structured water from One Small Town Lebanon, Ras El Mutton, to the UK and to the Gulf area. That alone is going to bring probably about $200,000 a month to that little town of 8,000 people. Just one business, okay? Now, just imagine 10 businesses like that, 20 businesses, 50, 100 businesses like that. Can you see where this is going to go? And they can do it because they've all worked together from the word go. They've all come together. They set up their council of elders, council of women, a youth council. They've all come up with ideas. What can we do? What can't we do? So the first product from Lebanon is our primary water. You'll hear a lot more about it. That'll be followed by pine nuts, because pine nuts are a huge industry there, followed by honey and various other things. We're about to launch the Ras El Mutton Health Center, Health and Wellness Center, that we've renovated an entire 5-story building with 20 or more world-class doctors from Lebanon and Lebanese doctors and from around the world that have contributed their time and expertise towards that health and wellness center, which will become a tourist attraction for people from the entire Gulf area and the EU to come and have these treatments that they can't get in their own countries at a price that is affordable. And so these are all businesses that are about to launch for One Small Town Ras El Mutton. It is truly spectacular. In South Africa, we're about to launch in one of our towns. We're about to launch a pyrolysis business from plastic and tires to oil, A2 grade oil. And this is a fascinating business that once this model is in place, we can then take that model and put it into every municipality in South Africa as a cornerstone business to launch One Small Town in that municipality, because it makes enough money to fund that business, to employ a bunch of people to run One Small Town as full-time employees, to then launch One Small Town into that whole community. And it gets rid of the plastic and the tires, so it cleans up the environment at the same time. So we're about to launch that here in South Africa. That same model will then be exported to the rest of the world. And that's all South African pyrology technology, turning plastic and rubber into oil. And that oil is used in burners, in generators to generate electricity. That oil is manufactured at a fraction of the cost that you can buy oil anywhere else. So you can see where this is going.
Yes. Well, it's incredibly inspirational, and I think there are going to be a few worried businesses out there who are saying, hang on a minute, look what's going on.
Well, just on that note, Richard,
Yes.
again, one of the things that people need to realize that we never fight or try and oppose existing businesses. Every business in every small town is invited to participate and become part of the One Small Town initiative. We have models and structures that'll help them make their business bigger. Just become part of the One Small Town initiative and turn your business into a One Small Town business. You can still remain the owner. You can still remain the manager and still earn a salary, but we just restructure the shareholding in the business. That's all that happens.
Yes.
Suddenly you have 10,000 people that all want your business to succeed, all contribute free labor toward your business, and you have a global market and distribution network of small towns all over the world.
Well, there you go. And some people were picking up on the free labour bit, I remember, from the thing. And before we go, just reiterate what that means, because some people are saying, well, hang on a minute, free labour, then isn't that some form of communism or something like that?
Yeah. Okay. I want to just first say, anyone thinks anywhere at the back of their mind, oh, this is a bit like communism. Boy, you have no idea what communism is. Right. Let me send you back to our history and go learn about communism and then come back to what we're talking about here. There's no comparison. No. Communism is a brutal dictatorship where the government and the state owns everything. You own nothing. You work for the state and you get peanuts. You get nothing in return. This is what we call contributionism, where everything is owned by the community. Everything we do is owned by us, the people. Nothing is owned by the state. Okay, so that's the first and dramatic difference. If anyone still has got this confusion about communism and what we do is called contributionism, we contribute our skills and talents and our time because we choose to make our towns beautiful and prosperous. And we choose to contribute 3 hours a week. I choose to do that because everyone has got 3 hours a week free. Everyone. The busiest person in our town will still have 3 hours a week. It could be doing books after hours. It could be anything. Yes. As long as you contribute 3 hours a week. It's not hard labor. It's not always hard. No.
I just wanted to address that because I saw those comments and I thought, well, and they just lodged, you lodged them up in your head, and I thought, well, okay, next time I'm talking to Michael, he knows, he can put it over better than anyone else. It is incredibly inspirational, and I think when people, some people just need to see it working and then they get it, don't they? Some people can see the inspiration early on. People are at different stages, and suddenly they go, oh yeah, no, I get it, it's great. And they're just, they don't need to know the minutiae of how everything works. They just go, yeah, I'll give my 3 hours, why not? Because it's fun, and look what's happened to my town, and I'm getting all these benefits, So and it's going to be very exciting to watch it develop over the next 12 months.
Well, you mentioned benefits. I think maybe before we go, because people are going to say, well, what are the benefits?
Well, tell me, Michael.
Exactly. So the benefits, first of all, are the collective net profits from all the businesses that we've started, because we are the 60% shareholders. Just because we didn't mention the numbers, the community is always the majority shareholders of all the businesses we start. The community will never own less than 60% of any business we start. That makes us the majority shareholders. That means that a minimum of 60% of all the net profits gathered from all our businesses are distributed monthly to all our active contributing members. That's why you have to contribute your minimum of 3 hours a week so that you get the profits distributed to you from all the businesses collectively from the profits of the businesses. Secondly, all the food and things that we grow and build in that, a portion of that is retained for ourselves. That is then distributed to ourselves as well. Now, over the past 6 months, we have come up with a whole new model how to do that, because it's not just like a bunch of hippies. When you start growing food as a commercial agricultural business, you can't just say, well, we're going to then take 10% or 30% of this and distribute it to the people. That doesn't work in capitalism and in capitalist business plans. So we had to come up with new ideas and new plans, how to bypass, how to overcome that, how to find a solution for that. And we did. So as you learn about One Small Town, you realize that everything we do is shared and distributed for ourselves, the profits and the products and the food that we grow and manufacture. And then also, thirdly, the infinity token. That is our reward. For every 3 hours you contribute, you get one infinity token that represents 3 hours. And the more you can work 3 hours a day if you want to, you can then start teaching and training and earning more tokens. So
and what do you
the
do
more
with
you
the tokens?
and beg your pardon.
What do you do with the tokens once you've
So
got
the
them?
tokens go into your digital wallet, and those tokens become your means of exchange.
Right.
Okay. They are not sold on open trading platforms on stock markets. They are protected by our private membership. So no one can come and crash the system. No one can devalue your tokens. No one can steal them because they're in your private membership account. It's like having a bank account, but it's your
Yes.
private membership One Small Town account in your digital wallet. You can then choose to send those tokens for free to any other One Small Town member around the world. As long as they got a digital wallet, it's up to you. Say, oh, I'm going to send him a little present, 10 tokens, 20 tokens. Or you can exchange them for values, for items of value, like in very poor communities, like we face in many countries of the world. South Africa is one of them. When people have nothing, they don't have a job, they have nothing. They have no money, no job, nothing. The only thing they have is some tokens in their digital wallet or in their account. They can start exchanging them for a bag of flour or some bread or milk or a bicycle. Okay, I've got 100 tokens. I'll give you 10 tokens for your bicycle. Suddenly we have a means of exchange, which is other than fiat currency. Can you see how important this is?
Yes.
This is
so you can still stay in the system and use your fiat currency, but you can also use your tokens. So you can choose.
Yeah.
You're
and
free.
Can I tell you, some of the shops and the owners of the shops in South Africa, One Small Town, have already come to us and said, listen, I'm prepared to sell certain items for tokens in my shop.
Right.
And so that is, I was shocked to hear that. I was surprised to hear that, because I imagined the moment where shops accept tokens for payment will be a little further down the road.
Right.
And what I'm also going to start promoting very soon is what happened in the early days of Bitcoin. Do you remember in the early days of Bitcoin, that craziness? Nobody quite knew what this was, how it worked, and you buy it and it's on this flash drive. And if you lose your flash drive, it's gone. And that can't, first of all, that can't happen with your Infinity token. That can never happen. But I'm going to start.
Reassuring.
Yeah, I'm going to start promising or suggesting to all our members around the world, when you send out an invoice, put at the bottom, like they used to do in those early days of Bitcoin, say, I accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. So take a digital wallet address and say, I'm a One Small Town member. I accept payment in Infinity tokens. So instead of paying me £1,000, send me 100 Infinity tokens. And I'm cool with that.
So then it's an alternative money.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Listen, this is very exciting. It's all, as you say, it's all going to start happening. You must be absolutely thrilled to be in this after 20 years of working and seeing it develop. And clearly, as you said, you've come up with new ideas when you've had to suddenly realise you've got to trademark things, that you're not stuck in the mud from 20 years ago. You're embracing new concepts and ideas and problem solving as you go. Which is that's very encouraging for people. I'm looking forward to getting down to Stroud and seeing all these people and seeing how energised and excited they are as they learn more about One Small Town. So, Michael, thank you so much for coming on the show. And we will be watching this with great interest to see how it develops in the future, because the alternative future is not something that you or I want to live through.
Yeah.
So brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much for your interest. And I'm sure the people in Stroud are going to be very happy to see you and meet you in person.
I hope so. I hope they're more interested in the One Small Town initiative than meeting me. But there we go. Michael, thank you so much. There you are, ladies and gentlemen. The website is linkable from the description. But if you don't get it, it's onesmalltown.org. I'll be back with more monologues and interviews. But until then, from Michael and I, thanks for watching. Goodbye.